Hello friends, so let us start with the fourth video on internal quality control. In this video we will see the testing of quality control material and quality control plan. As we have discussed, the quality control samples should be tested or treated in the exact same manner as the test samples and are used to validate the test run. Each laboratory should develop criteria for run acceptance based on guidance from the manufacturer's kit insert and in-lab validation of an external QC sample. So when a quality control sample is to be processed or is to be tested, all the necessary precautions should be taken as we take in case of running a patient sample. While sample handling, wear appropriate personal protective equipment before handling samples and ensure that you are working in a safe and clean environment. Always check the stability limitations of the control and ensure the control material is not used outside these recommendations. The control volume will generally be same as the serum volume that is been mentioned in the reagent kit insert. Ensure the lot number, expiry date, level, that is level 1, level 2, level 3 matches the kit insert you are using. Whenever you are using liquid stable ready to use control, no further preparation is required and can be used for direct QC testing. Liquid frozen materials and lyophilized reconstituted frozen materials should be thawed before running the QC samples. Once thawed, ensure the controls are thoroughly mixed by rolling. Liquid frozen controls should not be refrozen. Remove the vials from refrigerator and equilibrate with room temperature for at least 15 minutes before use. Roll each vial between the palms of your hands for 30 seconds. Holding the vial from end to end between the thumb and forefinger, invert the vial 20 times using a very quick turning motion of your wrist during mixing. Open the vial aliquot carefully and run the sample as a patient sample in a laboratory's analyzer. Coming to quality control plan or frequency of quality control testing, as per good laboratory practices, requires testing normal and abnormal controls for each test at least daily to monitor the analytical process. If the test is stable for less than 24 hours or some changes has occurred which could potentially affect the test stability, control should be assayed more frequently. So there are different recommendations from different accreditation agencies as well as recommendations from manufacturer. So we are going to see what are the manufacturer's recommendations to follow the IQC plan or frequency of quality control testing. The frequency to measure quality control samples is a function of several parameters. It includes analytical stability of the measurement procedure, risk of harm to a patient from clinical action being taken before a significant error is detected in the next scheduled QC event, number of patient results produced in a period of time when an error condition could exist but was not yet detected, events such as recalibration or maintenance that may alter the current performance condition of the measurement procedure, training and competency of the test operator, particularly for manual or semi-automated measurement procedure. Let us see the steps for implementing and maintaining a quality control program. The steps for quality control program are first to establish policies and procedure, second to assign responsibility for monitoring and reviewing of QC data, third to train all staff on how to properly follow policies and procedure, fourth to select good quality control material. This we have already covered in one of our previous video. Fifth, to establish quality control ranges for the selected material. Sixth, to develop graphs to plot quality control values which are called Levy-Jennings chart. Sixth, to establish a system for monitoring control values. Next is to take immediate corrective action if needed. And the last one, to maintain records and documents of quality control result and any corrective actions which are taken for outliers of quality control. Once the appropriate control material are purchased and prepared, The next step is to determine the range of acceptable values for the control material. This will be used to let the laboratory know if the test run is in control or if the control values are not reading properly, that is out of control situation. This is done by assaying the control material repeatedly over time. At least 20 data points must be collected over 20 to 30 days period. When collecting the data, be sure to include any procedural variation that occurs in the daily runs. For example, if different testing personnel normally do the analysis, all of them should collect part of the data. Variations in calibrations should also be included. Variations in reagent lot number should also be included whenever possible for extended data collection time. Once the data is collected, the laboratory will need to calculate the mean and standard deviation of the results. So, in this way, a control data is assayed initially for a period of 20 data points and mean and standard deviations are derived. Many times we have to do a lot verifications of controls. In this case, the newer lot of quality control material should be assayed along with older lot of quality control material for at least 20 days. The data should be reviewed. Calculate the SD and CV percentage of the new lot and compare it with the old lot. It should be within acceptable limit. So in this way a quality control plan is established. In the next lecture we will see about the statistical analysis or the statistics involved in internal quality control. Thank you and keep following the lab talk for the complete series on internal quality control.